The problem is that we have like two versions of the military. We have the old school neocon version, which is still the dominant version on the ground, which is the projection of power, right? How do you project power? You have, aircraft carriers, and you have these F-35 planes, and you have these huge frigates and all of this stuff, right? The Navy just announced a 30-year program. They're going to spend $1.2 trillion. They'll get 365 boats, right? Which is like,
it's crazy.
But the real version is what Anduril is doing, which is everything is drone warfare. Everything is about AIs. You see it on the ground today in the Ukraine and Russia, that's how you fight a modern war. So that costs meaningfully less. And it's not necessarily a projection of power as much as it is a projection of capability and skill. Mm-hmm. So if you take the latter approach, you could easily spend 50% less. The former approach really is about building big iron and big metal. And we all know that's complicated and it takes a long time. So you need a philosophical shift in how people think about geopolitics and the projection of power. This is why
on this front, this is not exactly the same thing, but it's consistent with the new approach that this administration is taking. We have, of course, a new defense secretary, and it's not a big deal, but he is every morning out there working out with troops. When he was back stateside, he was doing it. Now he's over in Poland. He's doing it. He posted this video today of him running with troops over in Poland saying, fitness, readiness starts in the beginning of the day. There's no, do we have a shot? We'll run it. It's just pictures. Okay. It's just pictures. By the way, he needs pants. It's too cold in Poland to run with just shorts.
Is Pete running in shorts? He's running in shorts.
He's running in shorts. It's snowy and it's Poland. But in any event, I like it too. I have to say, like Lloyd Austin, with all due respect, was overweight, was in the hospital unaccounted for like a week. We didn't know what was wrong with him. What kind of a health crisis was. It's great to see a young, robust defense chief, and just a juxtaposition in the messaging now. He's saying that we've had a record sign up and increase in troop numbers in December in anticipation of Trump taking office, and now in January once Trump has. And he points to specifically, among other things, the difference in recruiting efforts. Like, look at the ad that they just put out for special forces under the Trump DOD. The listening audience, it says U.S. Army. It's this enormous guy lifting enormous weights.
Stronger people are harder to kill.
Strong people are harder to kill. That seems right. But just so you have the full picture, stand by. Here's what they were running under Joe Biden.
Although I had a fairly typical childhood, took ballet, played violin, I also marched for equality. But as graduation approached, I began feeling like I'd been handed so much in life. A sorority girl stereotype. Sure, I'd spent my life around inspiring women. But what had I really achieved on my own? I needed my own adventures, my own challenge. And after meeting with an Army recruiter, I found it. A way to prove my inner strength and maybe shatter some stereotypes along the way.
Oh my God. The difference, guys.
It's crazy.
I mean, as men, you must see the difference in messaging and why the numbers are going up.
Well, look, I think that it's like there was like this fever, and I think it's broken. And the thing is, it should be okay to be able to look at certain job categories and basically say, what is it that we need? So what should firefighters be able to do more than anything else? They should be able to put out fires and everything that entails. What should, a spec ops person be able to do? They should be able to kill with precision. And somehow we lost that, where you weren't allowed to say those things anymore. And now I think we're getting back to just the common sense of it all. And there are other jobs, by the way, that should be governed by empathy and compassion, and you should optimize for those. That's like a well-functioning society. And I don't know how we lost that script, but I think we're slowly getting back to that.
This is a big omission, Megyn, because I don't know if you've ever seen Chamath's thirst trap that he posted on social media, but he has very thin legs. His legs are not capable of carrying. He would not be a great firefighter.
Megyn,
he can't carry anybody.
He'd be easy to kill. Is that what you're saying?
No, Megyn, I'm tall.
He's tall, but he's got very thin legs.
No, that's not true. That's what robust legs.
Show the
look like when
photo.
you're 6'2".
Cut the photo in.
Please go find the photo to my team. We're getting it right now.
But
let
there's
the audience decide.
the military issue really is that what's going to happen, on future military excursions, we're going to have to go on and going to look like the Ukraine, or going to look like Ukraine. Sorry to put the thought in there. You are going to have drones, and there's a good friend of mine, Palmer Luckey, has a company called Anduril that's doing particularly well in this regard. There's another one, Vatn Systems, VATN. I'm not an investor or anything, but I had them on my podcast. And they were showing me their underwater drones. You can cut in a video of it. It's really cool, Vatn Systems.
And you can just walk us through it here for the audience. Show us what you've built and walk us through this.
So right here, you're seeing our engineers out testing and working through the vehicles themselves. So what you're seeing here is a man-portable vehicle being carried by our CTO right there. And now it's running through the water. But Whoa. Our first product, we call the Torsk on the commercial side, or the Skelmir S6 on the defense side. And it's 6-inch diameter, really lightweight, and a fraction of the cost of existing options, with the ultimate goal of really building them at scale, which we're going to start next year, and making it easy for one person to deploy a whole bunch of these, and really control a multitude.
They are producing these underwater drones for 85% less than what the military spends now. This is exactly what Elon did for putting people in space, and he lowered the cost by 90%. Those opportunities exist. And so if we can reimagine the military, we could have more capability. We could be more competitive, and we can do it at literally 50, 60, 70% less if we unleash innovation and entrepreneurship. And this is the thing that pushed me out of the Democratic Party. Back to the original question you had for me. We have to support founders. It is very hard to start a company. You suffer. You're doing it now, right? You got to exist in Fox and NBC and take the Lincoln Town cars and have all this stuff. Now you're an entrepreneur, right? You got to be scrappy and you got to fight. The Democratic Party abandoned and shamed entrepreneurs, and they're still doing it. Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders are out there every day attacking Elon for doing something he doesn't need to do right now. He's already incredibly wealthy. He's got Tesla. He's got SpaceX to work on. And he's taking a side quest for the American people.
No, bro.
For 4, 5, 6 months.
He's moving into the government. This is costing
him billions.
Yeah, he's moved in.
I know, and just before I give you the floor on it, Chamath, here's the thing about Elon. He could have gotten the deregulation that he wants for his industries just by all the donations and the blood, sweat, and treasure he gave to Trump prior to November 5th. Trump owed him enough that he would have probably tried to help Elon roll back some of the red tape he wants rolled back without Elon doing a single thing post 10/5. Everything he's doing now is because he genuinely wants reform. He wants the government to work differently for all of us, not just for him. Go ahead, Chamath.
There is a framework that, we talk about. I've talked about it a few times now. I'll just sort of share it with your audience to the extent it's valuable. I think we all want to be and remain the most important country in the world. That should be, not really controversial. But the problem is that we have somehow found a way to debate how to get there. And I think how to get there has always been the same and will always be the same, which is America is the best when it has the most vibrant economy in the world and the most capable and powerful military in the world. That's it. And whenever any country has had those two things, if you look back in history, thousands of years, they've always been the most important and the most vibrant place, whether it's Rome or whether it's the, British Empire. But underneath that is one thing in this modern iteration, which is you must have technical supremacy. You must. If you make the best clothes, it doesn't mean much. You could have a vibrant fashion industry, but it's not going to give you economic vibrancy or military supremacy. If you have great, buildings, it doesn't do anything. You need technology supremacy. And this is why what Jason said is so critical. So why is Elon in there? I think part of what he's in there to do is to make sure that by helping to bat back some of these regulations, it's not just him, but there's so many others that hit this air pocket now that can actually do stuff on behalf of Team America. And if you're technically supreme, your economy will be the best. Your military will be the best. By the way, look at 2 days ago, there's a $24 billion program to arm the army with this incredible next generation vision system. Initially, it was given to Microsoft. Microsoft realized they couldn't do it. What did they do? They gave it to a startup, Anduril. Now what happens? That technical supremacy filters in through the economy, gets into our military. Our military will be that much better than everybody else. Mm-hmm. And that cycle, for whatever reason, was frozen in time for literally 15 years. And this is what we need to undo. And in that 15 years, the biggest mistake we made was we allowed China to catch up. And now they have a level of technical supremacy that rivals ours and in some cases exceeds us. And that was a mistake that we allowed to happen.
4 years of crushing interest rates, runaway inflation, reckless government spending. Who's paying the price? You are. You might have bills stacking up, debt collectors on your back. It can get bad. Well, Done with Debt can be a way out. They've developed these new aggressive strategies designed to get you out of debt permanently without bankruptcy or loans. Done with Debt stands between you and your bill collectors. They can go head to head with these guys, getting your balances reduced, interest rates slashed, and penalties stopped. They'll create a plan to end your debt fast and put more cash in your pocket every month. And right now, they're accepting new clients, but you need to act fast. Some credit relief programs expire. Consider a visit to Done with Debt right now before you make another payment, or call 1-888-322-1054 and speak with one of their relief strategists for free. donewithdebt.com. That's donewithdebt.com. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.